If you're on the age pension, the past few weeks have brought some of the most important changes in years, and if you're not paying attention, you could be missing out on money that's rightfully yours. I'm talking about changes that started rolling out in September and are continuing right through November, affecting everything from your payment rates to your concession cards and even who qualifies for support. Some pensioners are seeing increases, others are facing unexpected reductions, and thousands more are now eligible who weren't before. This isn't just another routine update. These are 7 critical things every single pensioner needs to understand right now, because missing even one of them could cost you hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars over the coming year. Let's dive in. The first thing you absolutely need to know is that pension rates officially increased on the 20th of September, and this is the payment you're receiving right now in late October and through November. Single pensioners saw their maximum fortnightly payment jump by $29.70, taking the total to $1,178.70 per fortnight. That works out to roughly $30,646 annually. For couples, the combined increase was $44.80 per fortnight, bringing the total to $1,777 combined, or about $46,202 per year. Each partner receives $888.50 individually. Now, these aren't just random numbers pulled from thin air. The government uses a complex indexation formula based on the Consumer Price Index, the Pensioner and Beneficiary Living Cost Index, and male total average weekly earnings, and they take whichever gives the highest result. This September increase means single households are about $772 better off annually, and couple households are getting an extra $1,165 per year. That's real money that helps with the groceries, utilities, medical costs, and everything else that's been climbing. If you haven't noticed this increase in your account, check your payment breakdown on MyGov immediately, because it should have started appearing in payments from late September onward. Here's where things get tricky. And this is the second critical change you need to understand. After being frozen for 3 years, deeming rates jumped up by 0.5% starting September 20th. Now, if you're wondering what deeming rates are, they're the rates Centrelink uses to estimate how much income your financial assets are generating, regardless of what they're actually earning. And this change is huge. The lower deeming rate went from 0.25% to 0.75%. And it applies to the first $64,200 for singles and $106,200 for couples combined. The higher deeming rate climbed from 2.25% to 2.75% for any financial assets above those thresholds. Let me put this in perspective. For every $100,000 you have in financial assets, your deemed income just increased by about $19.22 per fortnight. And because of the 50% pension reduction rate, that means your pension payment drops by $9.61 per fortnight for every $100,000 in assets. National Seniors Australia estimates that around 180,000 full-rate pensioners will become part-rate pensioners because of this deeming rate change. But here's the important part. Many of these people will still see an overall increase because the pension rate indexation was larger than the deeming rate impact. However, the 470,000 part-rate pensioners currently under the income test will see their indexation increase partially or fully offset by this deeming change. Some will get more money overall, some will get less, and it all depends on your specific situation, whether you're a homeowner, how much you have in financial assets, and whether you have employment income. This is exactly why you need to check your individual payment, because there's no one-size-fits-all answer here. The third thing that changed in September and remains in effect through November is the income and assets test thresholds. These determine whether you qualify for a full pension, a part pension, or no pension at all. The income test cutoff point where your pension hits 0 increased significantly. For singles, it's now $2,575.40 per fortnight, and for couples combined, it's $3,934. These limits went up because the maximum pension amount increased, and the cutoff automatically adjusts to twice the pension increase due to that 50% withdrawal rate. On the asset side, the full pension asset limits also increased. For homeowner singles, you can have up to $314,000 in assets and still receive the full pension. For non-homeowner singles, that limit is $572,000. Homeowner couples can have up to $470,000, while non-homeowner couples can hold up to $728,000. The part pension cutoff limits are much higher. Single homeowners lose all pension at $321,500 in assets, while non-homeowners cut off at $579,500. For couples, homeowners cut off at $482,500 and non-homeowners at $740,500. Now, here's what this means for you. If you were previously just over the threshold and missed out on the age pension, these increases might mean you now qualify for a part payment. Even a small part pension is valuable because it comes with the pensioner concession card, which gives you access to bulk billed doctor visits, cheaper medicines, and state-based concessions on utilities and transport. That card alone can save you thousands annually. If you haven't checked your eligibility lately, now is the time, especially with these November threshold changes in mind. Fourth, and this is massive for self-funded retirees, the Commonwealth Seniors Health Card income limits increased from September 20th. This card is separate from the age pension and is designed for people who don't receive pension payments but still need help with healthcare costs. From September, singles can earn up to $101,105 annually and still qualify. That's an increase of $2,080 from the previous limit. For couples, the threshold jumped to $161,768 combined, up $3,336. This is your adjusted taxable income, which includes things like superannuation withdrawals, bank interest, rental income, share dividends, and foreign income. Importantly, there's no assets test for this card, meaning your family home, car, and other assets don't count. The card gives you access to cheaper prescription medicines through the Pharmaceutical Benefits Scheme, bulk billed GP visits where available, and various state and territory concessions. Some pensioners who previously earned just over the limit are now newly eligible. Treasury estimates suggest over 55,000 additional Australians aged 67 and above might qualify by the end of the year. If you're a self-funded retiree and haven't applied, or if you previously missed out, you should check your eligibility immediately through the Services Australia website or call the Older Australians line. And by the way, from September, these cards are being issued as new laminated cards instead of the old paper ones, though both versions remain valid. The fifth change relates to pension supplements and how they're calculated. The pension supplement is paid on top of your base pension, and it increased along with the pension rates. For maximum rate pensioners, the pension supplement component went up, but here's the key. If you're on a part pension, your supplement reduces proportionally until it reaches the minimum amount. From September, the maximum pension supplement for singles is $76.30 per fortnight, with a minimum of $41.50. For couples, it's $57.70 each at maximum rate, with a minimum of $31.20 each. This supplement was designed to replace previous bonus payments and help with everyday costs. You can actually choose to have it paid quarterly instead of fortnightly if that helps you budget for regular bills like electricity. The energy supplement is separate and only available to certain pensioners. It's $14.10 per fortnight for singles and $10.60 each for couples. And unlike the pension supplement, you only get the energy supplement if you were already receiving it before March 20th, 2016, or if you were receiving certain payments on that date. New pensioners after that date don't receive the energy supplement, which is worth noting when you're calculating your total payment. Understanding these supplements matters because they add up to over $2,000 annually for maximum rate pensioners, and they're often overlooked when people calculate their pension entitlement. Here's the sixth critical update that affects November and beyond. The next pension indexation will occur on March 20th, 2026. That's when the government will again review pension rates based on inflation, cost of living indexes, and wage growth. Pension rates are reviewed twice yearly, in March and September, though increases aren't guaranteed. There was actually a rare occasion in September 2020 where rates didn't increase, the first time since 1997. But with inflation still elevated and cost of living pressures continuing, most experts expect another increase in March. What you need to do now is plan accordingly. Don't expect increases to be massive. They typically track inflation and wage growth, but they do make a difference. If you're currently on a part pension or just below the qualifying thresholds, keep in mind that threshold increases in March could push you into eligibility. Mark your calendar for mid-March and watch for the official announcement, which usually comes from the Department of Social Services in late February or early March. Also remember that the lower asset and income limits for the full pension change in July each year, which is different from the September and March indexation schedule. Staying on top of these dates ensures you don't miss opportunities to claim what you're entitled to. Finally, and this is thing number 7, you need to understand your obligations and how to maximize your benefits right now in November 2025. First, you must notify Centrelink whenever your circumstances change. This includes changes in income, assets, relationship status, living arrangements, or even extended overseas travel. Failing to report changes can result in overpayments that you'll have to repay, or worse, penalties for non-disclosure. But here's what many pensioners don't realize. You can also ask Centrelink to review your pension if your circumstances improve your eligibility. If your assets have decreased in value, maybe your shares dropped or you spent down some savings, you could be entitled to a higher pension payment. Don't wait for Centrelink to notice. Request a review yourself. Second, make sure you're taking advantage of the work bonus if you're earning employment income. The work bonus allows you to earn up to $300 per fortnight from work without it affecting your pension. And there's a work bonus bank that can accumulate up to $11,800. This is genuinely free money that lets you top up your pension with work income, and it's vastly underutilized. Third, ensure your MyGov account is properly set up and linked to Centrelink. From November onward, most communication, payment schedules, and updates will come through your online account or the Express Plus Centrelink mobile app. If you're not digital savvy, ask a family member for help or visit a service center, because managing your pension online gives you immediate access to payment breakdowns, letters, and the ability to report changes quickly. Fourth, if you're getting any kind of pension or concession card, check what state and territory benefits you're entitled to. These vary enormously by location and can include electricity rebates, public transport discounts, vehicle registration reductions, water bill concessions, council rate relief, and more. In New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland, Western Australia, and South Australia, these benefits can add up to thousands of dollars annually, but you often need to apply separately through state government agencies. Finally, if you disagree with any Centrelink decision regarding your pension, you have the right to request a review. Call the Older Australians line on 132300, explain your situation, and ask for an explanation or formal review. Sometimes decisions are based on outdated information or misunderstandings that can be easily corrected. Don't just accept a decision that doesn't seem right. Advocate for yourself. So there you have it. The 7 things every pensioner must know about the changes happening right now from September through November 2025 and beyond. Your pension rate increased on September 20th. Deeming rates unfroze and jumped 0.5%. Income and asset thresholds rose. The Commonwealth Seniors Health Card became more accessible. Pension supplements adjusted. The next indexation is coming in March 2026. And you need to actively manage your entitlements and obligations to maximize your benefits. These aren't small administrative changes. For many pensioners, these updates represent the difference between financial stress and financial security. They determine whether you can afford your medications, keep the heating on, or have a little extra for the grandkids. The Australian pension system is complex, but understanding these 7 key changes puts you in control of your retirement income. Check your MyGov account, review your payment statements, calculate how the deeming rate affects you, see if you now qualify for concession cards you previously missed, and mark your calendar for the March indexation. If you found this information valuable, make sure you're subscribed to Centrelink Pension Updates so you never miss critical changes that affect your payments. Stay informed, stay proactive, and make sure you're getting every dollar you're entitled to. Your retirement security depends on it.